Wide receiver, top five.
So I got, oh man, rest in peace, Cooper Cup. That's devastating to see. So the top five is wide open right now. I got Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, and Devontae Adams.
Yep, I have the same, but a little different order. Jefferson 1, Diggs 2, Lamb 3, Hopkins 4, Adams 5.
Nice.
Who you high on?
I am extremely high on Devontae Smith this week.
Yep.
He opens the week as my wide receiver 10. And he and Dallas Goedert typically benefit against defenses that play a ton of zone. So with Goedert out of the lineup, and again, another guy that I just have a ton of, Dallas Goedert, rest in peace. Hopefully you get better soon, but Goddard's definitely out this week. And the Colts use a zone defense at the 7th highest rate. So this is just an eruption spot for Devontae Smith. And the Eagles lack depth at tight end. So a lot of these leftover targets that were going to go to Dallas Goedert are probably going to go to A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. So it's just a complete eruption spot for Devonta. I'm sure Jalen Hurts is pissed after their first loss. So could be a big game for Jalen Hurts as well. And then Rondale Moore. Wow. He's my wide receiver 21 to open the week. But he's another wide receiver who's just been playing out of his mind. 6 or more receptions in 5 of the past 6 games. He had a nice 9-catch, 94-yard game with Colt McCoy under center last week. So even if Colt McCoy has to start again this week, shouldn't really impact Moore too much. And the Cardinals, they lost Zach Ertz for the season, unfortunately. So that's only going to be more targets for Rondale Moore going forward. So he's approaching mid-range wide receiver 2 status at this point. So I'm extremely high on Rondale Moore this week and going forward.
Yep, Rondale Moore's my I love both of them. Smith is my wide receiver 13 and Moore is my wide receiver 19. So love both of those guys. Oh no, Moore's my wide receiver 18. Whoa, yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's really big. Zach Ertz going down. That just, after Hopkins, Moore's gonna just see a ton of targets. And he's playing inside outside, so his slot rate has kind of fluctuated, but I'm hoping that he gets a lot of slot snaps, because remember I called the DeAndre Carter on Jimmy Ward, that matchup in the slot against the Niners is really the matchup you want. So hopefully they can get more on the interior. They are playing AJ Green a little more. Like Robbie Anderson and AJ Green, they're kind of flip-flopping with the playing time, but either way, both of those guys are perimeter guys, so should allow Moore to stay on the inside, and I think that would really benefit him in this matchup. So I have him almost at 6 catches. Like it's absurd.
Oh yeah,
5.8 catches. Yep.
And Trey McBride's just been running wind sprints when he has been out there this year, so he could
4.5% targets per route.
Yeah. He's only going to get better. Let's face it, but still, that's a huge drop off from Ertz. Probably going to go. All those targets probably going to go Moore's way.
Yep. Devontae Smith was the guy I had written down first. So love the call on that. Always look. No, it's fine. Always look out. Always look for him against zone coverage, like you said. He leads the team among guys, with double-digit targets in yards per route against zone at 2.1, and AJ Brown only 1.5 yards per route against zone. So he's the alpha when they play, a lot like the standard NFL defense. It's just when teams dare to play man coverage, that's when AJ Brown just eats. But this Colts team, it's not really what they do. Play a ton of zone, top 5 rate. So love him. And Jacoby Myers, I have him as my wide receiver 19. He's just outside the top 20 in consensus. And this is a matchup, when you look at the Jets, you got Sauce on one side, you got Reed on the other. So you have to, it's kind of like the Eagles. You have to target them on the inside. Slot cornerback Michael Carter the second is the guy that you want to target. Myers runs about 70% of his routes from the slot and put up 9 for 60 and a touch on 11 targets in the matchup in week 8. And he only saw Gardner and Reed on 3 of those 11 targets. So love Myers pretty much every week at this point. He's running around over 90% of the time. His target share is pretty high on a consistent basis, but this is a perfect matchup for him. He's getting targeted on 23% of his routes this season. So love Jacoby this week.
Yeah. He's playing out of his mind, and luckily his touchdown rates where it should be 7.5% this season. So that's nice to see him also chipping in touchdowns as well. So yeah, I love the Myers call as well.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. It was kind of inexplicable. He wasn't getting touchdowns. Who you low on?
So I'm going two wide receivers from this potential blizzard in Buffalo. So I hate to say it. You did this, I think it was last week, but I'm low on Gabe Davis, our boy. He opens the week as my wide receiver 24. But he would be the guy that would probably get the biggest hit from potential snow. I still have Diggs as a top 5 wide receiver. I don't think it matters so much for Diggs, but Gabe Davis is Josh Allen's top downfield target. So in a game where Allen might not take as many deep shots, I don't know really what's up with his elbow as well. Could be a down week for Davis. Same goes for the other side with Amari Cooper. I see the Browns leaning on Nick Chubb in the run game heavily if there is a ton of snow. And David Njoku could return this week, so that could eat into Cooper's target share. So I have Cooper all the way down to wide receiver 35 to open the week. Yeah, I'm being super aggressive on this weather, 6 or 7 days out. But these are two receivers where if they do have a down game here, it's not their fault. And they would be, really good buy low options, especially Cooper, who, Deshaun Watson's expected to make his first start in a couple weeks here. So Cooper's value could be even higher later in the season. So both these guys I'm low on here due to the potential heavy snow.
Yeah, I thought I was low on Cooper. I have him like mid-20s, but that's hey, I can't argue that. I didn't realize that the snow was going to be that crazy, but certainly if it is, everyone needs a downgrade. No. For me, I'm going Brandon Cooks here. He's the consensus wide receiver 34. I have him wide receiver 48. He came back and he wasn't even the number 1 receiver. He ran a route on just 63% of the dropbacks last week. And, he's kind of been in some, I don't even know what to call it, but like the doghouse, or I don't know if he doesn't want to play or they don't want to play him or what, but he only played 64% of the snaps last week. He hasn't seen more than 7 targets since week 2. And he hasn't had more than 4 catches since week 4. So it's and the yardage hasn't really been there either. He hasn't topped 57 yards since week 1. So not getting catches, not getting targets, 1 touchdown on the year. And you're playing a Washington defense who tends toward man coverage. They play man at the 6th highest rate. Cooks 1 yard per route versus man, 1.6 versus zone. So it's a bad matchup for him on top of everything. And I just don't know if he's going to be back at that 90% snap rate that he was earlier in the year now, because it's been trending down even before this. He was at 87, 83, and then sat out the game and then comes back and it's at 63. So Cooks is trending downward, and I would not treat him like a wide receiver 3 anymore at this point.
Yeah, I haven't figured out what's going on there either. He went to the locker room during the game. Did you ever figure out what happened there? Was it his wrist, or did he just go out?
I think his wrist has been banged up, but we can't, like, he's like an in-game injury risk, and I just don't know like what their intention is with him anyway. So,
another guy where it would have been better if he just got traded.
Yeah.
For everybody's sake. But
yes.
Here we are. He's just going to waste away the rest of the season on the Texans. Great.
Okay, what are you doing for the prop?
Oh, we got to go with Christian Watson here. Let's see. So for his receiving yards against the Titans, I am going with Randall Cobb as an expected return this week.
I think he has a chance. Like, he's not complete, but they did release Amari Rodgers, so you never know.
Oh, they did release. Oh man,
and Kylan Hill. So they released 2 of those gadget guys.
Well, Hill doesn't impact, but Rodgers really. Wow.
Yeah.
Probably that fumbled punt. Okay. Anyways, so let's say Randall Cobb has to be inactive for this to be, or do we just want to go? That's
fine. I mean, either way, he's gonna. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Which one?
No, like all bets action. Yeah.
Oh, all bets action. Okay, let's go with 46.5 yards.
Ooh, I have him at 46, so I'll go under, but that's a great line.
Okay.
Yeah, I have him 3.5 for 46 and 0.31 touchdown. So he's my wide receiver 28 on the week. What do you have him for routes run projection?
It's up there. It's at least like 85%.
Oh, wow.
Let me see. Yeah, I think he's going to stick around there now. I mean, the thing, 84%.
Okay. I gave him a conservative 75, but he's still coming out as my wide receiver 28.
Yeah, like, what do you think happens when when Dobbs comes back?
So that's what I wonder. But at this point, I feel like I don't know how he drops out of the top 3. Whether he takes Cobb's role even when he does come back, or he takes Dobbs' role. Like if he's gonna play like that, I just don't see how you can knock him out of the top 3 receivers for Green Bay. So I would suspect that he would play over Dobbs if they wanted to keep Cobb in the slot. But Watson did play some slot too, so they could always, and Lazard can play the slot too, so they could always go with Dobbs, Watson, Lazard if they want to get what they feel are their top 3 receivers in there. But either way, yeah, I don't see Watson kind of falling out of that wide receiver 3 role. So yeah, that's why I kind of have, like, I don't see him falling below like that 70-ish% snap routes run.
Yeah, same here. And he was their 2nd round pick. I mean, a lot of people thought he could potentially go in the 1st round. He's that talented. And really, he's struggled due to injuries so far this season. So now he's healthy. He broke out. It would have been nice if he ran a 91% route rate and went for 2 catches for 40 yards and no touchdowns. Right. And we could just buy in. But the fact that he had to erupt for 3 touchdowns, you're going to have to spend your entire fab for him in fantasy leagues. But yeah, I just think that I don't see him really losing playing time to Dobbs when he comes back. So he's really just a wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside the rest of the season for me.
Yeah. And, I think it's interesting though, because he went 4 for 107 and 3. That will probably go down very high likelihood that it will go down as his best game of the year. So if you are able to acquire him or have him, I would try to trade him for a running back if I needed running back help, because his value is still never going to be higher, even though the arrow's pointing up like that. He's never going to have a better game than that's almost impossible to have 100 yards and 3 touchdowns twice in a year, unless you're maybe Justin Jefferson or something.
Yeah, exactly.